What is good, guys? This is Steven here with All Talk On, and I am currently in the process of doing a $350 build for the heck of it. I was bored, thought I'd put one together for my first video, and well, we're just gonna jump right into this. So this is 300 and total $46.84 right now. From the list I compiled on PC Parts Picker, I'm pretty sure if you do a little more searching, you might get cheaper, you might not. I mean, checking availability and prices do change every single day. Well, this build is built around the Intel Pentium G3258 3.2 gigahertz dual core processor. It is a very nice processor, honestly. Only 2 cores, of course, but I mean, you know what? It works just fine. I think this one was on the Haswell architecture as well, roughly the same as the i5, and I mean, it's just 2 cores instead. But I mean, I've heard a lot of good for. I mean, this is a $55 right now, $60, um, 55 on Amazon, 60 on Micro Center, and I mean 70 on Newegg. But either way, it's a very cheap processor. Really good. I've seen a lot of the gameplays with this processor. No one seems to have an issue with it. It does outperform quite a few processors that are a lot more expensive than it. But once again, it is going to be limited, seeing it's a two core. I mean, it's not going to be an i5. It's not going to be an i7. But for what we're doing for $350, it is good. Next, for the motherboard, I went with the ASRock H81M HDS. It's a micro ATX motherboard. It does not support Crossfire or SLI. It only holds 16 gigabytes of memory, but once again, I doubt you'll be able to afford multiple graphics cards or more than 16 gigs of memory, so I think you're okay there. It does have SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, as 2 of them, and then it has two 3 gigabit per second. It does have an onboard 3.0 USB header, which is nice because you can use that for the case. Supports up to 1600 megahertz of DDR3. Cool. It's cheap. It's $49.99. And let's go on to the memory. So for the memory, I have the G.skill DDR 1600 megahertz. Only 4 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte sticks. Two gigabyte sticks. And cast latency of 9 and voltage 1.5. I mean, it's RAM. It's just going to work, and it's the low profile, so it shouldn't interfere with any aftermarket coolers you want to put on it in the future. I made sure to get the nice little one because I know that micro ATX or ITX and stuff like that, those smaller boards can have clearance issues with RAM, so made sure to get the smaller ones. Next we have the Western Digital hard drive. Now I had a really hard time getting a hard drive. About 2 days ago, Hitachi had a 7200 RPM hard drive, 1 terabyte, for sale for $40. I did not know how cheap that was until the price shot back up to 100 the next day, and if I had known that that was really cheap, I would have bought it. But obviously it's not on sale anymore, so I had to pick something else. So all I could fit in there was a 320 gigabyte for $36 from Amazon. It's 5400 RPM, so it's not the fastest, but maybe you should try a $500 build, if you want something a little bigger. Or, if you want, you can wait till a sale comes up, where for around $30 or $40 you can pick up a terabyte. So, but it's Western Digital, so I mean, it's a hard drive. A hard drive's a hard drive. You'll be able to fit a decent amount of stuff on 320 gigs, so. Next is the video card, which I chose the Asus Radeon R7 260X overclock 2 gigabyte edition. So it is a good card. Right now on Newegg it is $109. I don't like to include the rebate in my builds, but there is a $10 rebate, so it's for $100 if you want to do the rebate. But if not, even at $110, it's still fitting into the $350 budget. Now this, normally I usually go for the 750 Ti because it's roughly around the same price, and it'll more or less outperform by a few frames per second. But honestly, this card is extremely good anyways. I mean, the 750 was on sale for 110 and it went back up to 130, so I had to pick something else. So I picked the Asus card. It's a good card. It's nice. It's the R7 260X. I mean, you're not going to have any issues with it. I have a Radeon card, so I mean, I do like them. And honestly, if I didn't look into spending more than $100 or $200 on my card, I would have probably gotten this one if I, but I was looking to spend a lot more. So, but I mean, if you're looking for your $350, this fits in there perfect, and this will allow you to play games at 1080p on medium settings, 1080p on high settings on a handful of games, and if you want to drop it to 720p, you'll probably be maxing out almost every game. So I mean, this is a really good graphics card, and paired with that G3258, it's gonna work great. I mean, I've seen people pick the G3258 and pair it with like a 280X, and that's really kind of pointless. I mean, that's way too nice of a graphics card to be throwing with a little Pentium G, and I know it's a good processor, I really do, but it's not for that. You're going to be running into some issues where that's not really going to be able to keep up with a 280X or a 770 or something like that. You don't want to pair it up too much like that. I think that the 750 and the 260, 265 range is like perfect for that processor. Maybe a 270, I guess, if you really want. But I think this is like perfect combination of budget and performance right here with that Intel. I wouldn't go too high of a graphics card on the Pentium, but I mean, that's up to you. And last but not least, we have, or not last, second to last but not least, we have the Raidmax ATX 249WW. Now this is the cheapest, period, cheapest case ever, period, case cheapest. It is $20 on Newegg with free shipping. It is white and, in my opinion, semi-ugly. It's not really plain. It's got like this weird shell thing going on the back. But it's $20, honestly, so it's whatever. It does have onboard USB front panel 3.0. It has only one though, but I mean, better than none. It is white, and it's an ATX mid tower that supports micro ATX, mini ITX, and ATX as well. So if you ever wanted to put any of those sizes in your motherboard, or in motherboards in your case, you could. No issues there. And honestly, it's $20 the reason I picked it, and I know I know that I've looked it up and it's got decently sized everything. I mean, I think there's 3 drive bays, then there's for the hard drive bays, and then there's 3 drive bays at the top for optical drives and fan controllers if you really want. It comes with 1 case fan for a rear exhaust. There's a fan mount on the side panel as well as a fan mount on the front of the case as well. You can get an extra fan for $10 and throw it in there if you want. I would suggest it. It wouldn't be a bad idea. There is no window, but once again, $20. A lot of people say don't cheap out on your case because they can last you from build to build to build, and I agree with them. But for $350, even for $500, I wouldn't look into getting an expensive case. That's probably the least of your worries. As long as it holds all the parts together, it has decent airflow, you're good. Maybe when you're spending $800 on your PC-ish, $750-ish, then you'll be able to get like $100 case. That way you can still get an expensive GPU and an expensive CPU without having to, worry about this. If I were to put more money in the case, it would have taken away from other crucial components of this build. So $20, Raidmax StingRay ATX 249WW. Okay, and last but not least, now we're at the last. I have the EVGA 430 watt, 80 plus efficiency. It's not an 80 plus bronze. I did go with something cheap. EVGA, it's a good brand, obviously, with their graphics cards and stuff. It's a power supply. It's honestly, I would have went for the 80 plus bronze, but I mean, you're only pulling at like 200 watts with this build. Is what they're recommending. So I think 430 is more or less overkill. So I doubt you'll have any problems with it. It's not like you're pushing this power supply to the limits. It's going to be hovering right in the mid-range, so it'll be perfectly fine. You wouldn't want to throw in too much power on this, like trying to get a hardcore graphics card, like a 280X and then switching out your motherboard and trying to crossfire, two 270s, it's not going to work out. You want a better power supply, but for $350, this is what it had to fit in. This is a beginner gaming computer, and like I said, for this price, it will play pretty much any game on 1080p at medium settings, or probably even like no, mix between medium and high settings on most games. You will be able to play on 720p most games on high settings. So I mean, it's just overall for $350, it's not going to get better than this. This will automatically, hands down, beat a console, both in price and graphics. So I mean, what more could you ask for? All right, this is Steven with All Talk On, and I'll catch you guys later.